From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a world exclusive you're only going to hear on LALATE and broke last night on the LALATE News website. A world exclusive. Negotiations are near complete on the fourth stimulus reconciliation budget bill, and the negotiations have yielded the insertion of a stimulus check in the $3.5 trillion budget bill. Reports now confirmed to this channel suggest that there will be monthly stimulus checks in there. And the staffers and congressional leaders tell viewers of this channel that the amounts are now standing somewhere around $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. This is a world exclusive, broke last night on the LA News website, and it comes after days of offices of Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, Wyden, AOC, and Jayalapal telling viewers of this channel they're putting a monthly stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. In this incredible recording, world exclusive, you're only hearing on LA News, we'll go over the 645 pages of that recon bill and the other checks in there, like hazard pay, checks for seniors, checks for bikes, checks for vehicles, electric things like electric cars and electric vehicles. Then we cut to the big money of cluster number 2, seniors checks, and also cluster number 3, checks for workers and checks for prescription medication. We cut to the big surprise as an additional $13 billion is allocated by the federal government to go out for third stimulus. But boy, the world exclusives are happening right here, right now. We'll be going over the world exclusives about this fourth stimulus, including the vote. Everything you need to know, it's happening right now. It's a big noontime, live from Santa Monica, only on LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope the weather is good where you are. If you're in the live chat, jump in there and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. It's getting a little warmer again here in Santa Monica, California. Last night, LA News, which has been around for several decades, broke the world exclusive that congressional leaders have now, and their staffers have now told the viewers of this channel there will be the inclusion of a monthly stimulus check in the $3.5 trillion reconciliation budget bill. Number one, those staffers tell viewers of this channel that negotiations are near complete between Senate and House Democrats for the inclusion of a stimulus check provision in the recon bill. Number two, that the checks will run monthly and there will be months of checks. And number three, with the negotiations near complete, currently the negotiations are standing somewhere around these numbers. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. In this recording, we'll go over the incredible comments from congressional staffers to viewer after viewer across the board, day in, day out, and we'll see how one person really advocated in a way I've never seen people advocating. You need to understand, people are now taking this to another level because of the strength of this channel, advocating that this will save their families and their children's lives across the board. Then we cut to the big money under the 645 pages of the recon bill released. Checks for hazard pay, checks for workers, checks for seniors. I'm going to go over those as well. We'll go over the second and third cluster. The third cluster, the president's cluster, that he wants in there as well. And then you're going to hear a world exclusive about additional $107 billion there in that third cluster I've identified that's now available for you. And then the big shocker, as an additional $13 billion coming out from Treasury to your states for rent and utilities and food. This is from third stimulus, and the big exciting details as the nonprofits are picking up tabs for other items like refrigerators, furnaces, and money for food. It's a big noontime with world exclusives, and this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Afternoons LA at 1, then 3 o'clock afternoons, then 5 o'clock evenings, then our later programs. I want you to subscribe. Be part of this incredible channel that's changing history day in, day out. A loving community where people help and advocate and push for stuff that is due to them. Become a subscriber today. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and let's become a member as well. The link is under the video, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Let's get right to the world exclusive about those stimulus checks in the reconciliation budget bill. Late last night, LA News, which has been around for several decades, broke the world exclusive after several staffers from several different offices of congressional leaders told countless different viewers the same remark. Number one, the negotiations are near complete on the inclusion of a stimulus check into the fourth stimulus package, otherwise called the reconciliation bill, the $3.5 trillion bill. Number two, that the checks will run monthly. And number three, they're currently looking at numbers around here, possibly at $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for a duration of 6 months. It started 8 weeks ago on this channel when a lot of people are saying, I haven't heard it. And I said, advocate. And WR, a longtime viewer of this channel, advocated to Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, and Senator Chris Coons' staff was the first to confirm to viewers of this channel he's inserting a stimulus check in that reconciliation budget bill. Then 3 weeks ago, Bernie Sanders staffers confirmed the same to countless viewers of this channel. But it started with Brother Joshua, a longtime viewer and Purple Hawk and community volunteer of 2020. Sanders' office confirmed to Brother Joshua $1,000 a month over to $1,400 a month over 3 to 6 months monthly check, but he needed to hear your support. And viewers stepped up big time. It started with Donnie, who really made the impassioned plea, as you should, advocating for why this is important and how this would change his family and families across the globe. He picked up the phone and advocated, saying, I need this. It will help me. It will help put me back to progress, about pay for my water and everything. And he was told there would be a stimulus check in there. Hurricane Tina advocated with Bernie Sanders' office as well, told there would be a fourth stimulus check in there, MSC. Carolyn from Morning's Countdown, our 7 a.m. show, really advocated beautifully, said people are losing their homes. People are losing what they got. They need it. Sanders' office confirming he's doing a stimulus check. Ron Wyden was among the senators who wrote in writing that he would do a monthly stimulus check. Yaya picked up the phone and called his office. They confirmed MSC and considered also SS200 as an inclusion happening as well. But late last week, Will took it to another level by picking up the phone and calling 3 offices, not one. He called Schumer. He called Sanders. He called Warren. All 3 confirmed they're doing an MSC. They're negotiating right now. And Warren was perhaps the fascinating one because Will advocated very vigorously for that check. And Warren's office told him that Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, is considering a $1,400 to $2,000 monthly stimulus check MSC running 6 to 12 months. Lorica, however, was the comment that made my eyes pop out when she said Senator Casey's office is not only considering an MSC, but they're actually negotiating the amount of the checks right now. Wow. And that is when I told viewers to really step up and pick up the phone and call the House side as well. Paul did it and called AOC. And AOC, her staff, confirmed to Paul that AOC on the House side will be inserting a provision for $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, continuing from up to 12 months. Janice got confirmation from Jayalapal's office as well. And by the weekend, it looked like this. Senator Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden all separately confirming to separate viewers of this channel they're doing an MSC. Then representatives for AOC and Jayalapal's staffs in D.C. confirming it to separate viewers of this channel as well. Today, the impassioned pleas are coming in like never before. These people are salt of the earth. You should praise these viewers for doing what they've done. Margaret picking up the phone and saying, honestly, the woman on the phone in the office from the senator's office and I were crying after I explained why I need a stimulus check. And another viewer whose name I'm withholding said, I picked up the phone, I explained, I lost my husband during the pandemic. I've had 10 surgeries. I have 2 children I have to raise by myself. I really need this. And the staff cried with me on the phone. Longtime viewer, $51,000 Bob, who you met on this channel, Mark, $51,000 Mark, he picked up the phone and called Nancy Pelosi's office. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi's office staff confirmed to Mark that they're doing $2,000 a month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 to 12 months, and the negotiations are near the finish line. And then Lorraine, minutes ago, confirming that Sanders' office said the same to her as well. And there you go. That's what advocacy gets you. That's what advocacy gets you. Telling people, I need it. And now, the world exclusive on this channel. More about this later in this video, but let's cut to the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill. Checks of all kinds. It's not one, but several clusters that they're doing. This is the first 645 pages. These have been written. Cluster number 2 has 12 more checks. The Democrats have been talking about it every single day. They're just going over the final language of them before they write it up. And cluster number 3 are more checks, the present ones. All right, let's go over this for 645 pages. There's in there hazard pay, money for seniors, money for children, $51,000 of MSCs over 18 years, money for bikes, cars, vehicles, home repairs, and also college students. All right, number 1. It's important to understand that everything in this recon has nothing to do with pandemic, so you do not have to be pandemic related to be eligible. The first one is hazard pay. This channel is the single biggest advocacy for hazard pay with over 300 videos in 2020. And finally, we got hazard pay into third stimulus earlier this year by Congress modifying an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit to make more people who are essential workers eligible, then increasing the amount of money. But third stimulus is not a lifetime change of the tax code. Fourth stimulus would make it lifetime. Huge. So if you're an essential worker, every year that you work or the zone of eligibility, you would qualify for this money. The second check, big surprise, no one saw it coming, not on my radar. Representative Richard Neal, head of Ways and Means, got it in there. It's up to $4,000 a year for the person who cares for an elderly. This is huge for a lot of home health care workers and a lot of care providers. Also on the other side, up to $4,000 if you care for a young child. How about college students? There's money in there for as well. College grants, making the Pell Grant tax-free, grants to the colleges and then to you. And then what about home repairs? There's money in there as well. Home repairs, if you're in a low-income community, they'll be giving grants for that money as well. But boy, the big surprise is $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks over 18 years. If you're a parent of a child in a low-income household that was just born, for every year that the household is low income, you will qualify for up to $300 a month per month every year for up to 18 years. And yes, that's $51,000. Then what about money for bikes, cars, trucks, and bikes? Yes. So if you want to buy a new electric bike, the federal government pick up the price tag for nearly 15% of the electric bike's purchase. Then what about a new electric vehicle for personal use? The federal government provides you up to $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle from the U.S. auto manufacturers. If that is for personal use. If it's for business use, they'll pick up a little bit more. And if you want to buy an electric truck for business use, a little bit more for that as well. And there you go. That's the first 645 pages of the reconciliation budget bill released. Cluster number 2 has 12 checks in there, and they're huge, including up to $1,700 a week if you have to stay home from work. Cluster number 3, which I'm going to go over right after that, is the checks the president wants to insert them. And I have a world exclusive about an additional $107 billion now available for you for funds under that wasn't there on Friday. But let's go over this first 645 pages. How did they get this done? These 645 pages are done by Democratic senators and Democratic House members behind closed doors, not on the House floor, not on the Senate floor. They're doing these negotiations on the telephone, in their offices, going to staff meetings, subcommittee meetings, not on broadcast media, not on C-SPAN, not on TikTok. Once they agree upon a provision, they say, go write it. So, you like the $4,000 a year to care for the elderly? I'd like that. Go write it. The 15% for the bike? I like it. Go write it. And the first 645 pages that they've written, these are the ones they said, go write. Wow. Now, let's go right into the big surprise that no one saw coming. An additional $13 billion coming from the federal government. This is for rent, utilities, food, and internet. Yes. Department of Treasury has identified an additional $13 billion that's landing right this week. Every state, every county, red state, blue state, and it's happening. If you're a member to this channel, I hope you are, daily now in the newsletter from me is a link to the actual news statement from Treasury. Treasury is happy to provide these additional state resources for local and county governments, for additional resources for Americans in need of rental assistance. And boy, the nonprofits are paying more as well. More about that later in this video. Let's get some more checks. Let's cut to cluster number 2. Cluster number 2 is nearly 12 checks, and they are huge amounts. The first one is paid family leave and paid medical leave. What's family leave? You have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. What's medical leave? You have to stay home because your son broke his leg. How much does it pay? A lot. Under third stimulus, it was to pay $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. Let's cut it in half. Let's say you make $35,000 a year. Then that would be $800 a week. Cut it in half again. Let's say your annual salary is $15,000 a year. Then you would get up to $400 a week. It's huge. The federal government gives this money to the employer and then to you. Then check for building up childcare programs. Then a check for the household tax credits. Then a check for my seniors for dental checks, vision checks, hearing checks, and lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. More about that in the third cluster. And then checks to weatherize your home. Very helpful, especially when those purple hawks are up above. What is weatherizing your home? For example, you're in a tornado area, a hurricane area, a fire area. The federal government will provide you checks to weatherize your home. Yes, this is the second checks in this recon for your home. And then we have educational checks, another round of those. So free pre-kindergarten checks. And finally, tuition-free community college checks. Yes, you can go to community college for free, especially take that class. It's very popular. It's called What the World is LATE Saying? I don't understand his accent. 101. Pardon my French. Yeah, you'll never have to guess what I'm speaking. That's foreign language. My accent's weird. They talk weird in LA. You can take that class and get that incredible education for free. Then green energy checks as well. Wow. In a second, I'm going to go over the third cluster. But guess what? The House and Senate are both in session now. But if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you know that means nothing to the equation. Because the House and Senate Democrats negotiate behind closed doors, on the phone, in subcommittees, over a cup of coffee, in their offices. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I believe that the remaining pages of the reconciliation budget bill could be released as late as later this week or early next week. Let's cut to cluster number 3 because these also have a world exclusive. Check number 1, free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, checks for workers, and checks for seniors like expanding Medicare, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care. All right, the world exclusive. The world exclusive is last Friday. The Senate parliamentarian ruled that one of the checks in here, which I never record on camera because it doesn't concern you, it's for Department of Judiciary, cannot belong in the recon. She took it out. This is huge news because guess what I immediately did? I went back to my old notes to see how much that check was for. It's for $107 billion. So yes, an additional $107 billion now ruled cannot go to judiciary, has to go to you. This is big. Then 2 of the checks in this third cluster are automatic. That's why the president likes them. That's why I like them. The first one is, for example, the prescription medication. Let's say you go to the pharmacy on Monday. You take out 2 $20 bills from your wallet to pay for a pharmacy prescription. And this becomes law the next day. It'll slash the price as the federal government has preferred rates with the pharmaceutical companies. So, for example, when you go back to the pharmacy a week later and go to pay for that same refill, you may only have to potentially take out one $20 bill. Then also free internet. The federal government is going to give fortunes to the local cities and counties and states so that they can offer free internet to you. This is huge. So all you have to do is say, hey, I'm here. And then they say, okay, here is the username and password for the Wi-Fi connection. Wow, incredible details. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over the details of this world exclusive only on this channel. It was broke last night on LA News about the negotiations near complete for the inclusion of a fourth stimulus check in the reconciliation budget bill. We'll go over what the Democratic senators and House members are saying. Then we'll be cutting to the big exciting details of more money available for the nonprofits. If you got to rent and utilities or food before from this channel, you can get more money as well. Then we'll be cutting to this briefly over the exciting details of fifth stimulus. And then I'll be going over the surprise as I deliver a world exclusive as to which body of Congress will vote first. More about that as well. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Noontime LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals, reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now at noontime, direct from Santa Monica. I'm live on air with the world exclusive broke last night on the LA news site. As staffers from congressional leaders tell viewer over after viewer that they are near completion on the insertion of a stimulus check in the fourth stimulus reconciliation budget bill. That there will be multiple months of checks, and that the checks will run approximately $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. In this recording, second half of the recording, we'll go over what those staffers have told viewers of this channel. Then we'll be cutting to the big exciting details as the vote is looming, and I'll go over which body of Congress will vote first. Then we'll go over quickly fifth stimulus, but first we'll go over the exciting details as $13 billion more of third stimulus is available for you. Wow. This is LALATE, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible loving family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video to 3,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Join me next on Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then evenings at 5, and then our new shows at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30. I want you part of this incredible family, and don't forget to sign up for those LA alerts so you get alert whenever a new video or breaking news goes live. Well, the president surprised everyone with an additional $13 billion going out to your cities, counties, and states for rent, utilities, and food and internet. Third stimulus dedicated a certain amount of money for this, but they had an additional $13 billion, and it's going out this week. So every county, every state that you're in will have money. Doesn't matter if it's a red state or a blue state. Let's go over the big money for rent because the numbers have literally doubled, tripled, or quadrupled in 30 days on this channel. And what I want to show you is that if you've gotten some of this money before, I want you to get more money for it. If you haven't gotten it, I want you to get it now. And there's other new surprises as well. All right, here are the numbers a month ago. Nisi getting $20,000 as a Purple Hawk of this channel. Then Elizabeth getting $27,000 Purple Hawk for rent. Now, Jen, late last week, got upwards of $40,000 for rent. We have several viewers who've gotten over $30,000. Utilities, Mark's brother-in-law. You've met Mark. He's $51,000 Mark, the guy who got $51,000 for himself, just like Johnny, who got $80,000. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities last week. That's triple what we were looking at just a month ago. For Snap, we were looking at $5,000 a month ago. Now, Mark's brother-in-law is getting $21,000. So let's go over all the details, how you get this big sum of money for yourself. Get a pen, paper, cell phone ready. Here are the details. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. If one says no, reach out to the next. Number 2, listen to the keywords I say in this video. And number 3, I have a surprise for you on other places to get the money. All right, here are the 6 places to reach out to. Your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority. Your state hall, and your state housing authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Let's go over the 6 places again. City hall, city housing authority. County hall, county housing authority. State hall, and state housing authority. Now, this is what's huge, is that if you got money before, go get more money. If you didn't get money before because they said they're out of money, then if you're a Purple Hawk, you have delivered daily to you in the newsletter every night, starting with last night's newsletter, a link to the Treasury article that explains the additional $13 billion coming to your city, county, and state. Call them on the phone. Say, have you got to the money yet? No, I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't heard about it. Let me tell you what it is. Can I be first on the waiting list when it comes in? Sure. Let me put you first on the waiting list. Or if they don't have a waiting list, call every day. It reminds me of Kevin Lee, longtime viewer from 2020 of this channel. He heard about Dallas coming live with some money for rent in April of 2020. He called up, he got it. In 3 days, the money was gone. So pounce, Purple Hawks. Number 2, utilities. Call up all your utility companies. So if you have 5 utility companies, call up all of them. Utility assistance because of COVID is the key words. And then number 3, the big surprise, the nonprofits. The nonprofits were a big focus of this channel in fall 2020 and early 2021. I got people a lot of money, and the volunteers did as well. But we didn't know if the nonprofits were still paying money. And about 3 or 4 days ago, I brought them back in the coverage on this channel. And boy, are they paid. One viewer within 24 hours said, my goodness, I reached out to United Way. They said, no one's asked for rent for a while. You're first in line. You're going to get it. Another viewer said they got money as well overnight for rent. Another viewer from another charity said they got a refrigerator and a furnace in their window fix. The nonprofits are the following. Here are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. The difference with the nonprofits is that they do not have the same eligibility as the federal government. You don't have to be behind on the rent always. And they do other things like money for food, homeless help, for shelters, sometimes appliances. Again, here are the 5 nonprofits. They're featured in the newsletter for members. I hope you're a member as well. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. All right, let's turn to SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get from the Department of Agriculture, and guess what? It's going up a lot. Mark's brother got $21,000, but now he's going to get $26,000. What's happening? Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits up an average of 25% lifetime automatically starting October nationwide. This has caused some confusion for some viewers because they've gotten a letter that the prior raise from the 2 executive orders is ending. So they get that one thinking that's the only letter. There's going to be a letter right behind it that says you're now getting a raise up to 25% lifetime. Then the refund checks. Yes, the state one is coming back if you were overpaid due to computer error. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state for that as well. And last, the refund check back from IRS for people who paid taxes on their 2020 unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. Goes anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. Go to irs.gov to do a tracking search and a transcript search, and it'll likely work to track it. If you got in any of these sums of money, post it in the live chat because you inspire people who need that money to pick up the phone. And here's what's important to understand. Become a Purple Hawk. The link is in the video today. By becoming a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, you're delivered daily from me to you a breakdown of all this big money under first, second, and third stimulus. 1. If you've gotten money before, I want you to get money again as far as you can go into the future. Contact another agency, contact another division. I want you to get money as far in the future as you can. Number 2, if you haven't got to the money before, get the money now. Daily, I deliver to viewers a breakdown of all this big money. The newsletter now includes the nonprofits. It also includes the letter from Treasury about the $13 billion. So get that big money right now. And then finally, let's go into the final 15 minutes of this video with the big exciting news about that world exclusive starting right now. It was 8 weeks ago, and there were certainly a lot of naysayers then saying, I haven't heard about it. And I said, I don't care if you haven't heard about it. You advocate for it. And WR, who was on a morning's countdown this morning, was in the live chat, and he advocated for it. He heard me 8 weeks ago and picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's old confidant, and advocated vigorously. I need it for my family, my community. And Senator Chris Coons' office heard, and that was the very first office that said, yes, I'm doing a monthly stimulus check for you. Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware. Then, about 3 weeks ago, I expressed to people the importance of Bernie Sanders in the equation. The first 645 pages of the reconciliation budget bill released are written by House Democrats. But there's a Senate Budget Committee as well, and the chairman is Bernie Sanders. In fact, he's the guy who got the price tag of $3.5 trillion for you. He actually got that number. 3 weeks ago, Bernie Sanders told broadcast media the following quote. He said, unlike prior D.C. budget chairmen, I like to get out amongst the people. I said that translate as he wants to hear from you what to include in that budget bill. I said advocate. I said pick up the phone and advocate for what you need. Margaret did, Lynn Glenn did, and Brother Joshua, who's in the live chat right now, did. picked up the phone and advocated. Now, what is advocacy for stimulus? Advocacy is explaining why you need it. I need it for my family. I need it for my town. This is what's going on with my town. Let me tell you what's going on. Let me tell you what's happening with my church, or my community, or my sister-in-law, or my brother, or uncle. Overnight, we saw two real examples of advocacies like we've never seen before on this channel, and this is why I'm so proud of you. One of the advocacies was this one from Margaret, who says, honestly, the woman on the phone at the senator's office started crying when I explained everything I've been going through. That's advocacy, picking up the phone and telling really the emotions of what's going on. And then another viewer whose name I'm withholding, she picked up the phone and said, listen, my husband has died. I'm raising 2 children during this pandemic. I've just had 10 surgeries. I'm on SSI. It's not enough money. I need it. And the woman cried and the staffer cried. That's advocacy, because these elected officials want to hear you advocate. And that's what Brother Joshua did. Brother Joshua picked up the phone and advocated to Bernie Sanders' office 3 weeks ago, saying, I need it. My family needs it. My church needs it. Advocated vigorously. And advocacy works because Brother Joshua heard from Bernie Sanders' office during that conversation. Yes, he will put a monthly stimulus check in there, approximately $1,000 to $1,400, approximately 3 to 6 months, but you need to have his back. And I said, that's a call to action. Pick up the phone and advocate like Brother Joshua did. And that is what Donnie did, and the floodgates started to open. Donnie heard my plea to advocate to the senators, and Donnie did. Picked up the phone and said, this is what I need. This is what my family needs. I need to progress. I need to catch up on my water and everything. And I told Bernie Sanders' staff that, and they said they're putting a forced stimulus check in there. Hurricane Tina, always in our evening shows on the live chat, she picked up the phone and advocated. I told Bernie Sanders what I need, and they said they're putting a forced stimulus check in there. Then on Morning's Countdown, Carolyn really took advocacy to the next level, saying, listen, we need help out here. People are losing their homes. They're losing what they got. We need this. I called Bernie Sanders' office and told them that, and the staffer said she agreed, and Bernie is putting a forced stimulus in there as well. But then by the middle of last week, Will took it to another level. He didn't call one office. No. He called 3 offices. He kept on calling and calling and calling. And every office told this viewer that they're doing a monthly stimulus check. I spent the day yesterday calling around, and I called Senator Bernie Sanders. I called Elizabeth Warren's office. I called Chuck Schumer's Senate office. And all 3 senators' secretaries confirmed they're doing MSCs. I explained my situation. Here's Will advocating, and how a forced stimulus check would make a huge impact. And I was told, yes, it's happening. Then comes Elizabeth Warren's comments to Will, or her staff's comments to Will. Elizabeth Warren's office asked me what kind of check I think would be sufficient. I explained I like the American Petition, which is $2,000 a month. And Elizabeth Warren's staff said they're on board with it. They said that Senator Elizabeth Warren is considering $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. There you go. It was Lorica's comments, though, that really made my eyes pop out because of the last line. She said she called up Senator Bob Casey, advocated with him why she needs it, pushing, and he said he's working on money for elderly and people who's disabled. But Casey's office not only said he's doing a monthly stimulus check, but that they're in negotiations right now for the amount. By the end of last week, I said, okay, so we have the senators, Warren, Schumer, Sanders, Warren, Wyden, all saying they'll do it. Now time to push with the House members. I said push with AOC, Jayalapal, and Omar, which viewers have still not called Omar. And I said push, and then came Paul. Paul called AOC's office, and AOC's office, he advocated why he needs a stimulus check, why it's important, and AOC staffer told Paul that AOC will be putting a provision in the recon from the House side of $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 12 months. The staffer for AOC confirmed to Paul that that will be added to the bill. Janice got the same message from Jayalapal, that Jayalapal will be putting a stimulus check in there as well. By then, we had Senators Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, Wyden, and over on the House, AOC and Jayalapal confirming it. But then Mark got this. Mark, late yesterday, picked up the phone and called Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office and advocated for why he needs a stimulus check. And Speaker Pelosi's office staffer confirmed she would be putting in a fourth stimulus check for the amount of $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter to run for 6 to 12 months. Moreover, the staffer said they're negotiating the amount right now. The world exclusive you're only here on this channel is that the negotiations are near complete on the inclusion of a stimulus check. So says the staffers to multiple viewers of this channel from congressional leaders on both the House and Senate Democratic side. The staffers also tell viewers of this channel that there will be monthly checks. And the staffers from viewers have told viewers of this channel, various viewers from very different staffs from both House and Senate, that they're pursuing at the moment the following potential agreement. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. A world exclusive delivered last night on LATE News, which has been around for several decades. This is what advocacy does, because advocacy starts by explaining what you need. I need it. My family needs it. My community needs it. A congressional staffer on the other side of the phone cannot see you, may not know your town, nor have ever visited your town, nor know about the town, but they can certainly feel emotions. And congressional leaders are elected to advocate for you. And when you pick up the phone and you advocate with them, then it feels like a match made in heaven. They want you to be advocating because that's why they're in town, to advocate for you. On the other side, the following is not advocacy. This is not advocacy. Treating congressional staffers like a FedEx tracking tool or an IRS tracking tool or a UPS tracking tool. Where, when, how, who, is it, will it, won't it? No. They want to hear you advocating. They want to get off the phone and feel the emotion. Because this is what happens with 645 pages of a bill that could be upwards of 8,000 pages that they're negotiating behind closed doors. They're talking day and night about what they're doing, and they may also be talking about you. Bernie, are you getting those phone calls? I am, Liz. I'm getting phone calls around the clock. Very impassioned, Bernie? Yeah, Chuck says he's getting the same phone calls as well. Very impassioned, advocating for a stimulus check. It's very likely that they communicate amongst themselves the same message because they're hearing it from different offices, getting the same messages from you. With 139 million viewers on this channel in just a little bit over 1 year, you can have an impact. We made history by getting a second stimulus check in the continuing resolution bill. It was all my idea. CR for stimulus, I came up with the idea to put a stimulus check in there. You pushed, and it became history. Now you have the ability to make history again. Let's cut to another world exclusive, which is which side votes first. Well, 2-3 months ago, I was telling viewers of this channel that I believe in a world exclusive that the House will be writing the legislation, being the actual authors. We now know that reporting was correct because the first 645 pages were released by the House. I am now also reporting that I believe that the House will vote first. This is huge. It helps you in two regards. First, it helps you if the House votes first because if Jayalapa, AOC, Pelosi, and any other House Democrat does exactly what they say they're going to do, then the situation is taken care of perfectly on the come. Then, as a backup, the senators vote last. And that is great news as well. Schumer, Sanders, Warren, Casey, Wyden, and Coons, all who say they're going to give you a stimulus check, would vote last in a two-day vote-a-rama. That two-day vote-a-rama has the opportunity for them to insert anything or add anything or increase numbers from the Democrats. They're not going to remove anything the House Democrats wrote, but they can certainly add something in, and that's why that's great news. Finally, fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up, goes out for a vote potentially in November, December, later this year. Raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits. Then it removes the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law. Says you can't have $3,000 in hand, removes the income cap, preventing you from working, and removes the marriage penalty. They'll tie your benefits to a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. Inflation is expected to go high. I'm saying about 5%. If I'm right, then you'll go up an additional 5%, not just next year, but a lifetime. Let's recap, because that's a lot in one video. Third stimulus, fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus. Third stimulus, the great news is that there's a lot more money for everyone in every state, in every county. Pick up the phone and call. Get that money right now. And lean on the nonprofits. Also, I forgot to mention, it's the holiday season just around the corner. So contact Salvation Army because they start having holiday gifts for Christmas in September and October. Number two, get all this money for rent and utilities as far as you can in the future. Then, fifth stimulus, heats up later this year, starting drafting soon. That'll go out to a vote by December. Finally, the core. Fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus, we're likely to see the next pages of this reconciliation bill as early as the end of this week, potentially finished. And the world exclusive only on this channel is that staffer after staffer have confirmed from both House and Senate side it's getting in there and they're nearing the negotiations finishing. You need to push. Advocate, because advocacy starts here. Telling people why you need it. Bring the emotion to the call. So they feel the emotion, they get off the phone and they say, wow, that person really moved me. Thank you to those two wonderful viewers who I featured today on this channel, like Margaret and the other one whose name I withheld, for really bringing their statement to the phone call. You want to thank people like that are stepping up for you to help all Americans, not just themselves, to ensure you get the money. I hope you do the same for viewers like Margaret and that person's whose name I was withholding. Coming up next is the Afternoons LA show at 1 o'clock, then the new Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock, Evenings LA at 5, and then a show every hour on the hour through the rest of the night. A show at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11:30. I want you part of this incredible loving family that makes things happen together as a family. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. And don't forget to sign up for those LA alerts. The link is in the description. It's totally free. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more. I'll see you next on Afternoons LA.